What's going on, guys? What is good? Zal Palantir here to bring you guys finally. I know some of you guys have been asking for this for a long time, so I finally got around to it. Just finished the series yesterday, actually, and I'm going to be giving you guys 6668 aka Oparts Hunter review. Okay, um, pretty much a lot of you guys have been asking me, when am I going to put this out? Because I have been saying I was reading the series for a while. I just got around to actually doing that final grind and finishing it. But let me say this. I don't know if the people who asked me to do the Oparts Hunter review are, really, really hard fans of the series. You guys just want to hear my honest opinion. But if you cannot accept this opinion, because I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be a completely positive review or overview. There were things that I genuinely did not like about this series. But I'll just get right into the review. But that being said, if you do not have an open mind or you cannot, handle what I'm going to say, just don't watch it. I'll start simple. I'll start with the characters. The characters overall were good. They were solid characters. I really like Geo, both pre and post time skip Ball. Of course, Kieran. All the characters were pretty damn solid on that front. There were a few that kind of were weird to me, but all in all, the characters themselves, because I'm going to get to another aspect of the characters later, but the characters themselves were good characters. I really did care about them after a while and care to see what would happen to them, what they were going to do, how they're going to end up, and so on and so forth. So the characters, nothing to really complain about. They were good characters, solid characters. Of course, you do have the fact that, come on, you have to admit, Geo did remind you of pre-time skip Naruto. The only time Geo strayed from Naruto's character is post-time skip, where Naruto kind of got more serious, but he still had that kind of joking demeanor. But Geo, all in all, was a more serious character, genuinely more serious. Where Naruto, you sometimes have a feeling he's putting on some kind of act, and he's not completely serious at times. Geo is serious for the most parts, and his gags, to me, got funnier, because he switched to that kind of lighthearted, childlike humor to that dark humor, and that was interesting to see the transition there. So the characters, all in all, were good. Now we're going to get into something a little bit more in depth that I kind of had a problem with, the fights. Now, I'm going to make a video about this later, and a lot of you guys probably noticed already, if you're anime fans, anime manga fans, the fights play a huge role in any shonen battle series. Meaning that the fights do not only have to be who has the bigger dick, okay? The fights don't only have to be who has the higher power level, who's more OP, but they have to have a sense of strategy. How can I manipulate my dick so it can then... No, that's weird. But you get it though, right? It has to have an element of strategy involved. It can't just be who's stronger. Because if all fights were who's stronger, we would know how the fight's going to end before most of them even start. Okay? It has to be a combination of who's stronger and strategy and emotion and how much you care about the characters. Those four things play into whether a fight is good or bad. I'm not saying a shit stomp cannot be good. It can still be a good fight when you already know who's going to win. But the sense of strategy always makes shit better. Okay, in this series, with the Oparts coming into play, there was a huge element of strategy. Okay, there was a huge element of strategy, and I liked it. I liked the fights. But when it came to the conclusion of the fights, strategy seemed to go kind of out the window. And it kind of seemed to be a mixture of friendship or some power-up. And by some power-up, I mean the fact that one person may be an angel or a demon from the Kabbalah or reverse Kabbalah. Because especially towards the end of the series, you guys had to realize this. Because the writer was rushed. Okay? Kishimoto's brother. He was rushed. He was rushed. It was stated. It's a fact that he was rushed. Which is why he literally made everybody and their mother a fucking angel or demon. Zero, who showed no signs whatsoever of being anything like that. In fact, before it showed us against that. We had proof that he wasn't anything like that from Geo's flashback. But all of a sudden at the end of the series, he's an angel. Everybody started, one of the four Guardians, everybody and their mothers were angels or demons at the end of the series. They just had to rush that shit so they all were in one place. I mean, what are the fucking chances that everybody that's an angel or demon ended up at that one place on that one day? It was either by coincidence or fact that they turned out to be Geo's friend, or in Zenom, or in Stia. Alright? Everybody started turning into that. And that was BS. That was BS. But anyways, back to the fights. The fact that the fights were strategy based, but the endings were very, very, I'll say, cliche for most of the fights. The only instance where the fights were actually pretty damn good were in the Rockbird tournament, where they were, in fact, because the characters weren't the kind of characters that needed to win their fights. Some of them actually needed to lose. So the fights were very strategic, very enjoyable. But other than that, the fights, especially towards the end of the series, turned out to be rushed. And their climaxes were kind of like, who fucking saw that shit come? Like, is that really, you know what I mean? But, like I was saying about the angel and demon thing, definitely could have used some more time to flesh that concept out and spread the angels and demons out, you know. And then the last thing I'm going to get to, the fights, in the fights category, is the fact that some of the fights were bullshit. Or one in particular was bullshit. I can't remember this dude's name for the hell of me, but you know Miria from the Rockbird tournament, the girl that was captured by Zenom, and she had the Opart connected to her arm, and the guy who could control, I think, gravity, he could control gravity, yeah, he went to rescue her, right? What happened in that fight, I will call the biggest disappointment I have ever seen in any anime or manga, because he went in there with his power activated. He went into another dimension. He was erased and sent to another dimension. And literally, I kid you not, I can find this in the manga if you want. I kid you not, he rescued her and defeated the demon with the power of heart. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making it up. If you haven't read the series in a while, or you haven't read it yet, I'll probably put the panel in the description. He saved her due to the power of heart. He killed a demon, broke a dimension, and on top of all that, he separated this girl from the demon with the power of heart. You don't see this shit anywhere else other than this manga, okay? But this was, I would say this is an isolated incident. This is not what the whole series is like. But you can see that very, very important plot points, such as this one, I guess because they didn't have much time, or I have no clue, they were resolved with BS like the power of heart, and we never got anything else out of those characters for the rest of the series. Those were very good characters too, but we never got anything out of them for the rest of the series, just because of the power of heart. I really don't understand. I have no clue. I have no clue. But now, the last thing I'm going to touch on is the story itself. The plot itself. I liked some of the arcs. The sub-arcs. The subplot. Alright? But towards the end, I'll keep on bringing it towards the end of the manga because the ending was rushed. It's a fact that the ending was rushed. You can look it up. Whatever. The ending was very, very rushed. So, due to the ending being rushed, the actual story for the ending of the manga went downhill. With the whole freedom program, Solomon, Adam, Eve, I kind of felt in a way like it was just thrown together. Now, the whole Kabbalah and reverse Kabbalah thing, I liked it. But as far as being concrete goes, with the direction that was headed, I don't think he knew how he was going to end it off. So basically, he ended it off like the Kabbalah and the reverse Kabbalah were finally united. But then we get a freedom program that was just randomly activated, literally randomly activated after the world is being destroyed. Randomly comes up, randomly activated. Within 2 panels of each other, he managed to gain control of the freedom program, defeat the Kabbalah and reverse Kabbalah, and banish Satan. For no apparent reason, other than the fact that he was able to harness the freedom program, which we still don't know completely what it is. Apparently it was just a prototype of a program that was supposed to free the world from the Kabbalah and reverse Kabbalah. But we don't quite know. I think Geo was the freedom program? I have no clue. I just thought the ending, I think we can come to a general consensus that the ending of the manga was rushed. It was way too rushed, and we were presented with a bunch of plot points that were not even hinted at for the whole manga until right at the end. And for that reason, the ending was subpar. But I did enjoy the journey. I think that's really important to say. I did enjoy the journey. I would suggest reading this manga. I would definitely suggest it. I think it's a worthwhile read. I don't regret reading it, but I think that it could have, it had some more stuff to work on, which is why I kind of think it was never given, it was never really given an anime. It never really became too popular. I know popularity is not a good reference point on seeing whether a series is good or not, but I think 666 Satan, aka Ophar's Hunter, definitely had a little bit more work to do, could have been less rushed, and it could have overall been made into a better series. But I think it all comes down to the fact that the writer really didn't have enough time to flesh it out as much as he probably originally planned it to be. Because it was planned out to be a really, really complicated plotline. As you can see from, first of all, the story. The story was very, very, I mean, it was earlier on. It seemed like a very, very well thought out story. With the Kabbalah, reverse Kabbalah, all the angels and demons that were supposed to be inserted for a different plan to be activated, and they could be put together. But towards the end, it was very, very rushed. And I think that that is really why it was really left on an unsatisfying note. The ending itself, meaning the last, I think, 3 panels, where we saw Ball grown really as an adult, with his wife and kids and everything, and they're talking about Geo and Ruby. That was satisfying. It was honestly satisfying. But the ending itself, to the story, to the plot, could have had a lot more work. Anyways, guys, Alvin Pounds here. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your guys' thoughts about the 666 Satan / Ophar's Hunter manga. And I'll get back to you guys later with another series overview. I'm done with my next series. Anyways, peace.